professors, Sam Canine, entrusted me an opportunity to speak at a Sunday school in this church. He'd give me directions, and of course, the directions were not great. I was told to take Kennedy Avenue. Well, I took Kennedy Expressway, and I went in the wrong direction. It was not a time for GPSs, so as you know, the more haste, the less speed, and I got rather anxious. I'm thinking, should I just turn back to go to the school, or should I continue to make my way to Calvary Baptist? I eventually made it to Calvary Baptist Church, this church, in 1984. The Sunday school class by this time was over. But I was asked to give a short testimony, and I gave a testimony for 5 minutes. And the good thing was this: they invited me back the following week. And I came to teach that Sunday school class. And lo and behold, there up in the front row was Arlene and Doris. And I got to know them over a period of time, and the church was going through a major transition, and they needed some encouragement, and they continued to invite me back. Eventually, the ladies said to me, we have an A-plus girl that we want you to meet. I went, have I known way alone? That's the God's honest truth. I get rather spiritual. Thank you. I'm not sure about this one, but it actually happened. On July the 3rd, I believe it was, Pat was home for, I guess it was a July the 4th weekend or get-together, and we went to your famous pizza parlor, Aurelio's. That's what it's called. We talked, and I'll never forget, I was wearing that red shirt that night, and I must have stood really out to Pat, but it just so happened the next night, Arlene invited me over to their home. And Pat shows up. And it just so happens we get to sit out in this little seat right beside their garage, and peering into the back window. Well, we talk, and we talk, and we talk. It goes by midnight. We have lots of things in common. Every so often we see these two eyes. Of course, it was Aunt Arlene. She, Penny, for your thoughts. I really wondered what she was thinking at that time. But we continued to talk. So she needed her beauty sleep, and she left us a plate, I believe, of cookies or cake and milk. And of course, it went on and it went on. And the rest is history. Not really so. That was 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Just so happened, June the 21st, I got to marry my daughter, Amy. Mm-hmm. It was a very special occasion. But what if that had not happened? I don't know, but Amy wrote these words. The thing I remember most about my great Aunt Arlene is just how comfortable she always made everyone. Amy's very insightful. What a big smile she had. You couldn't help but feel warm and welcome around her. She carried herself with strength and with grace. She loved and served her husband well, and anyone could observe them and see that. The memory that sticks out the most to me was at Grandpa Bud's viewing. Austin and I had just started to date. I sat next to her and Aunt Doris, and they began their investigation. They were pretty good at that, right? Questioned me about this new boy they'd seen on my Facebook. We're praying you down the aisle, said Aunt Arlene. Not only was she responsible for getting my parents married, here she was praying Austin and I together. She was obviously quite the matchmaker. You know, she said, A-plus girl, and Aunt Doris, who couldn't be here with us today, and our hearts go out to Nadine and to the family, because Aunt Doris is not doing very well. So if you remember her in prayer, I know she would appreciate that so much. But I got an A-plus girl. This is what she says. Aunt Darlene and Uncle Raymond were always a huge part of my life. I loved going to their home on Klein Avenue in Griffith, and then in 43rd Place in Highland. Aunt Darlene made the best cherry slices in the whole world. Delicious bottom crust, thick cherry filling, topped with another flaky pie crust, drizzled with ooey gooey white frosting. You remember those cherry slices, don't you? They were good. Not only was she a great cook, but she was also given to the gift of hospitality. I have memories of many gatherings of family and friends in her home, always a special, special time. Other treasured memories include family reunions and family vacations together in Michigan and Wisconsin, our Forster family Christmas Eve, celebrations with the Satterblooms and Dominguez, and also part of the godly heritage with which I've been blessed. I'll be forever grateful for the role Aunt Darlene and Uncle Raymond played, along with Aunt Doris, in introducing me to my Irish husband. Thank you. Their support and interest in our lives and the lives of hundreds of others, young and old, speaks of their willingness to be used by God to bless others. Certainly Arlene Ruth Forster Satterbloom heard, "Well done," when her Savior received her on the evening of July the 13th, the year 2013.